Good evening, everybody. It's a Friday night edition of Not Another Rangers podcast, and it's a good day to be a Rangers fan. Reaching the Europa League quarter-finals for the second time, probably in the last. So it is only the second time. Do you know what? We've had a great European run over the last 6 or 7 years, but this is, other than Seville, this is the second time since the quarter-finals, and Ricky's celebrating already with a pint. Is that Spanish beer, Ricky?
It's a Danish beer, Carlsberg. Nice. It's good.
And we still got Carlsberg. So welcome everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe as you should do. We have got a full pod today, so obviously we've done well. We're on a good result. We get 4 days. Monday night it was just me and Ricky rambling on for an hour. So everybody's here to talk about what was a big game last night and what was a big game at the weekend. JD's even back. We brought the star of the show back. JD's been missing for a few weeks. He has been out overseeing Goofy and Mickey and things like that, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
JD, have you been at Ibrox?
What?
Have you been at Ibrox?
Few Muppets. No. It was brilliant. Amazing.
How are you, Scott? I haven't seen you yesterday. I know most of this, but tell me again.
Same as yesterday, Gary. Maybe a bit better than yesterday because when I met you at half time, we weren't sure what was going to happen in the second half. But listen, I'm really good today. I was happy with last night, so can't really get any better than that. I'll probably not be the same on Monday, right enough, but I was happy with last night.
Can't believe Kel's not wearing the hat. I've not seen you with the hat.
That's the entrance. My hat's in the living room. I'm not getting back through to get it.
And Ricky, how are you? Before you travel back to the world of work next week, how are you this evening?
Very good, mate. After yesterday, a bit hungover today. I celebrated a little bit too much last night. Wife was going mental because it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was jumping about the living room. Kids had to get up for school at 6 this morning, so I wasn't very popular this morning. I might have got hit around the head a few times, but it was worth it, boys. Great result last night. So very happy.
So we're going to get into basically in the space of an hour. We can't cover every bit of the game. We can't because there's obviously a game on Sunday. So we'll try and pick up some of the main points. I think probably we'll start with just kind of your observations of the game. We're not in no particular order. Joe, just kind of what you thought of the game. JD, I was saying to Ricky before he came on that when me and Scott were at the game, it felt like it was quite a challenging game. But you put the stats up today, and it was actually probably much more even than maybe felt at the time.
I know it's weird. That's when I think you just play. You watch the game with your eyes, don't you? Like, and I've said that. I think Mourinho's got a great quote about people who don't understand football use stats or something. It's a brilliant quote, but I just thought the game. I thought we started really well. Actually, let's see up until we lost that. Cares away to get his hat. Before we lost that goal, like you were just like willing us to get to half time. It would have been almost like felt comfortable by that point. That goal killed us, but I thought we were playing all right. I know me and Ricky were bantering in the chat, and Ricky was wanting a lot of changes, but I was comfy with it all. But near the end, I was a bit more philosophically. I was like, I believe they were a better side than us. They had better players than us, and I was a bit like, if it happens, it happens. But it didn't. The extra time kind of died a death, didn't it? It just tailed off, and I think at the end, both teams were almost just saying, like, pens it is. But I thought there was moments in the game, probably a good 20 minutes in the first half, a wee 10 minute spell in the second half, maybe, where I thought we looked all right. But other than that, it wasn't really about the result. It was just about qualifying. We done the hard yards in Istanbul that allowed us to perhaps put that performance / be under the cosh against a better team, and it worked out for us because of the first leg. So all in all, man, we're through. That's all that mattered.
Yeah. What about yourself, Ricky?
No, exactly the same as JD, man. All that mattered was being in that hat for we're playing Bilbao in the next round, and that's all that mattered. I actually thought we were 5 minutes away from the perfect first half performance. I actually think the formation worked even at Ibrox. Okay, we didn't create that much, but we created a few half chances. Oh, he's back with a hat on. I hope you've got breaks on underneath, Chief, for that. No, I thought it was a
calendar again, Ricky. Is that this week's calendar?
The calendar again. Wendell will be all excited. It was a freak goal, mate, boys. The goal was what a finish from the boy. Yeah, I mean, they created nothing in the first half. I watched back the highlights today and made a few half chances and stuff like that, but they were got so lucky because the deflection of Sterling takes it over Tav's head. And what a finish from the boy, man, an absolute rocket. There was some great angles right into the top corner, and that completely changes the tie. That completely changes the game. And the reason I wanted us to go back to 4-2-3-1 a bit earlier than we did was because I just knew that Mourinho, he's very good once he's got your formation worked out. I think with a manager like that, you need to try and keep him on his toes and keep changing it because he's a really good manager. And I think that they dominated us for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes until he did change it. And then it was anyone's game after that. But we're in the next round, mate. We got through. It's crazy. We're in how we could be so bad domestically, and then the final 8 of the Europa League is an absolute answers on a postcard. If anyone can work out this Rangers team, please.
So I spoke to you yesterday, Scott. One of the things that probably struck me, people kept asking me, "How are you feeling about the game today?" And I'd say to them, "Was I'm probably more uneasy than if it had been a one-each draw over there, because it was that you don't really know how to play." And as a game, I think we met at half time. We're talking. It was that kind of strange way when you don't know how you don't want to overcommit, but you didn't want to actually sit back and defend either. So you were kind of stuck halfway in the middle most of that first half, which is why it was kind of they never looked threatening, but we never really looked as though we were fully going for it.
I think we try to keep the 2-goal lead, like 2-goal lead, and I think that played into the mindset, doesn't it? I think 2 goals we're kind of through if you just keep it tight at the back. But I thought Mourinho, obviously, the way for a batch set up, they worked us out for the first leg. Journey was suffocated out in the right. It was always a 2 or 3 men on him constantly. So he wasn't releasing the ball at times. So many times he couldn't release it because there wasn't anybody up there. Only really Dessers. The midfield weren't getting up as quick as they should. But other times he held on to it too long and he was getting the ball took off him. But I thought the difference between the second leg and the first leg was we didn't have the space because Fred was in there. And Fred won so many loose balls middle of that park. I mean, Fred isn't the greatest player. He was at Man United and he wasn't the greatest player, but he covers so much ground and he was just chasing back, and him and Amrabat done a lot of running. They had the legs in there, and that's what's kind of stifled us at times. And I did say to you at half time, Gary, I think we should change the formation. I did say put Tal back out in the right, take Stirling off and bring on Iggerman, didn't I? Said go back to the 4-3, whatever, 4-3-3 I said, because I thought the 5 at the back wasn't working. I was making the 2 defensive and it was bringing them on to us. And they have got quality players and only took 1 or 2 chances, and you seen the goal they scored. They can pinpoint things happening, but it was a quality finish, you know what I mean? In the second one, we should have defended better, but when you're sitting deep and you're waiting to hit in transition, it's better away from home than it is at home.
No.
I always think that's a mindset as well. And Scott mentioned earlier in the chat, and I can agree with him. I said that to my sister last night getting up the road. I said, you're walking away from the stadium totally happy, celebrating wildly. When I stayed to the players walk by from the one before we left, but that's 4 games in a row we've lost at Ibrox. When's the last time we've done that? Really, you know what I mean? And it's not a great start, but because we won in penalties in the European, it gets into the last 8, it's totally forgotten about, but that's still not a great start to have.
That's the first time, Kerr. It's the first time it's ever happened.
Is that the first time, is it?
Aye, first time it's ever happened there.
I would be more annoyed if it was a league game, but it's again, I know we're through and we dispatched them earlier, but I felt they're superior to us. I think we get through, but I think they're just a superior team to us. So I can almost, it is 4 games on the bounce at Ibrox and it's no good enough, but I can almost let it slide because we won in penalties, we got through, and it was a European game and we done the job earlier. If that was a Motherwell or a St Johnstone or Aberdeen or something like that, then for me it would be a different story.
Yeah.
Do you not think they're very similar to us, but in the way they play? Because I think our players, like we're looking for Cherny, Dessers, whatever, to have their moments of quality to get goals. I think they're kind of the same. I don't think they play a lot of decent stuff. Physicality, they're better than us, but a lot of teams are above us physicality-wise. But I think last night they're looking for the boys up front. They're looking for somebody from the middle of the park to pull something off. They've not got a pattern of play. They win the ball back, but they're looking for somebody to give them a spark. So I think the Mourinho plays are very similar to us. They just maybe get a bit more composed. They've got better talented players because they spend more money, obviously, and they can buy at a higher level. But I don't think there was much in it between the sides, apart from we scored 3 goals over there because they had made mistakes and they scored 2 last night. But I think both defences against better teams could get picked off very easily.
Yeah, you can say, I suppose, for any games, I think, in terms of the style of play, I think you said this Monday night, Ricky, or last week, was it Friday night? They have a kind of traditional style of play where they get the ball wide and then use the quality of Costick and guys like that to put the ball in the box. They're probably not your modern Pep Guardiola style pass the ball about. It's a much more direct and get and look, as you say, look for balls in the channels, look for crosses, and it probably works for us. Probably somebody's that maybe helped us that kind of style yesterday.
Jose's always been like that. Jose Mourinho just wants to win. He's not interested in playing 100 passes. The only stat that he's interested in is the score at the end of the match. And obviously the big conspiracy was on about UEFA not giving him penalties, which was quite funny after the game. But
nice comment, Robert. I think that Robert's talking about the ref is poor, right? So just Ricky, about you were talking about the ref there and the conspiracy. So obviously Jose thought there should have been 3 penalties. I've not seen them back on very brief highlights, but the referee's performance overall was quite bonkers. He was booking players.
Horrible. You can tell with these refs right away, mate. And when they go card happy the first few minutes and they're just booking everyone for everything, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be a long night. And I mean, that Suter, mad rules that we play 8 group games and they don't scratch the yellow cards after the group games, guys. That's just crazy. So now we've got Suter's out and Dio's out for the first leg at Ibrox against we'll definitely miss. We'll miss both of them, but Suter's a huge miss. He's defending. He's going to be a massive miss for that first match. But I thought the ref was terrible for both teams. It wasn't just for us. It wasn't like he was. I just thought he was just one of these refs that just blows for everything. Doesn't let their game flow. Cards here, cards there. He bought all the dark arts, all the diving from players. He was booking players. Nah, he had a very, very poor night. And there's a lot of poor refs in Europe. Like sometimes you get ones that are not too bad, but I thought he was really poor last night. Ruined, and it's cost us big style for the next match, that's for sure.
And in terms of, there'll be a couple of moments, I don't know if you've seen them well on the TV, but there's the one, I think, is it Diamanda Sterling's down the side, and he's get pulled back. It's a blatant booking. There was one, I think the guy wrestles Dessers in the first half, brings him and starts balling at the referee, balling at the linesman. And then Ridvan done half of that in the second half and gets a booking. Or it was just, was it inconsistent? Is that what they call it? A lot of time. So I think he didn't quite really have a grip of the game. It's fair to say.
Exactly.
I think he actually booked more of their staff members on the bench.
He did.
But that's the most pointless thing. Going that booking staff members, I don't really understand that. I've never understood the logic. What does it achieve?
He was booking subs before he even came on. There was a couple players coming on that were booked, and you're like, "What is going on here, man? This is like I've never seen anything like it." The ref was absolutely nuts.
So, JD, team lineup. I don't think there's much to say on that. Sterling comes in for Ridvan. Probably the formation stays as expected. It's quite comfortable. For me, the only thing was whether Tav was going to play right wing back or Sterling. I suppose with Sterling went out there, it was a more defensive lineup.
Aye. I was happy with the team, to be fair. Probably at the end of the game, I don't think Sterling had a good game. Not much. He came off anyway. I don't think Jeff did really well.
A little bit off it, Sterling. He just had a wee bit too slow every time.
But again, with Sterling, he doesn't play enough games. He can't get a good run of games. He's always injured. I wouldn't be surprised if there's he's got a wee niggle after last night. But the team was what we expected. I thought Raskin again was probably there was moments in that first half where I'd text my brother, I was into the group chat as well, like Cherney was just ridiculous at some points. His first touch, everything, but you could tell they were well versed in what they were doing. They were doubling up on him, trebling up on him. But I thought Raskin and Barron had a good start to the game, but the wee man tired, which is fair enough. He's came out the cold, didn't he? But didn't think Jeffrey played well, to be fair. Suter's going to be a massive miss, isn't he? Like, it's a gutter. I don't think Dessers didn't play well either, but it was a tough night for whoever was going to be up there. And again, Igamani came on and didn't really affect the game much. Cut of touches here or there, but the team was what we expected, wasn't it?
Yeah. So first half, I think as you said, Ricky, the first 40 minutes, it's pretty even. I think we were probably slightly the better team, but not enough of what happening. I don't remember them creating anything. There was a couple. In fact, it must have been 3 or 4 times I put the ball just trying to play that Talisca in straight through to Butland, wasn't it? That kind of thing. So there was very little happening. 40 minutes comes, obviously, our condolences to Christopher Potter and his family. There was an outstanding minute silence, minutes applause, which the whole crowd and a lot of players and staff obviously stood and marked. So our condolences there. But as we edge towards half time, as Scott says, fantastic finish. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do about a goal. Do you know?
You've got to just take your hat off sometimes. I mean, we've scored a few crackers recently as well, and their goal in the first leg was an absolute peach as well, but this one was even better. Obviously deflected. Sterling, like you said, I thought he was a bit slow to get out. When I saw it back today, he could have been a bit quicker getting out to stop the cross. He almost stops it, deflects over Tav's head, comes out of the sky, and the guy just smashes it in the top corner. And unfortunately for us, they didn't deserve that, but that completely changed the match. That put them, and they went in at half time. Jose's getting fired into them. Look, just stick to the plan, stick to the plan. It totally changes our team talk. And at that point, I was starting to really, I was getting concerned. I sort of had a feeling that I still felt we would get through for some reason, but I felt they would get that second goal, which they did on the 75th minute. But goals change games. And it's so weird because I heard a lot of people saying today that the Fort Rangers was pretty poor last night, and I didn't agree with that at all. I thought they were decent in the first half, had moments in the second half. When you, as JD was on about the stats today, I think we had more shots on target, more shots on goal. If you're a stat shagger and you're into that sort of thing, but for me, it was we got through. That's the main thing, and great finish from the guy. But it wasn't enough when we got through, so happy days.
So Scott, half time comes, and by that point, just we had the half time talking, and Balogun, Suter, and Sterling Bob and booked at that point. Were you surprised he didn't look to make changes? I think we were talking about, you know, this looks like one of these games is going to be a sending off. It's going to cost us a game. We're going to go out, and it took a lot of courage, I suppose, to keep the three of them on.
I think they probably. I mean, I watched most of the game back today, and I thought the shape and the structure was decent. We weren't really under a lot of pressure. Butland didn't have many saves to make until he was picking the ball at the net. So I thought if going to half time 0-0, he's happy with that. So just to score just before was probably a kick in the stones, wasn't it? But he didn't really want to change it because we were doing okay. We weren't doing okay offensive wise because it was only really maybe Kearney, Dessers and maybe Diamandi was trying to get it forward at times because the rest of them, I thought the full-back or the wing-backs were told not to go as far up the park at times. Because at times Kearney was coming very narrow and so was Dessers and Diamandi. Wasn't any width, wasn't there? No. They had times you were looking, there was space outside the left and the right, but nobody was running into that channel for some reason. They were hanging back. But I would have changed it, Gary, because I thought you could start picking him off. I don't think Negretti back, like I said earlier. But Barry thought it was going to work. And up until the 44th minute, it was working okay. It's one of these, like I said earlier, when you're 2 goals ahead in a tie, you're kind of, there's a thin line in there. Will you go for it? You won't go for it. And just conceding before half time is probably the worst time to concede. But he probably thought he could still hang in there until maybe 50, 60 minutes, then change it in, which, to be fair to him, he did. Because he could have kept it that way, but he changed the formation and changed some of the subs, which worked to a point. But there wasn't. Fenerbahce had a lot of the ball, some of the ball, and they were maybe winning it more, but they didn't create. Listen to Mourinho, I listened to him last night when I came in, and I thought he could be right here. But when I watched the game back, it was totally different. See, when you're there, and then you're watching TV, you see things you don't see, and you see other things you do see. Do you know what I mean? And it's strange, but I didn't think we're as bad as we were watching the telly, and I did when we were there. When we were there, I was getting frustrated, but watching the TV, we didn't look as bad, Gary, and I can see why he never changed it. But at the game, I wanted it to change it very quickly. At half time, I wanted it to change it.
So JD, so when I do think we were bad, probably that 45 minutes to 60 minutes, particularly, maybe that's when we were kind of getting the run around. They were passing the ball about. We were second to every ball. That period there, it looked as though they were really in the ascendancy. It's probably until the subs came, maybe 65, 60 minutes when Bayrami and Igaman came on for Dessers, and who was the other one? Dio.
Aye. It looked like we just came out in the second half where it's like that goal just before half time took us stuffing right out. It's no matter what Barry Ferguson would have said at half time. It just they were just struggling, and Mourinho got them fit, and it was backs against the wall. We couldn't get out at some points. We were just putting the ball apart. We were so deep. You'd even see Ferguson and like screaming at them, "Get fucking up!" But that's just that natural thing when you play football. When you're under the caution a wee bit, that you just sit deep and you just can't get yourself out. So I thought the game did for Rangers died. I don't think we were particularly good at all in the second half, although I thought we played well in the first half, other than the goal. But a wee spell for 10 minutes, but it was a hard second half. I must admit, there was a point when they got their second, I thought, it's coming, the third goal's coming. But then it flipped, and me and Ricky were saying, actually, I think we could win this here. There was a wee spell where I thought we were actually going to nick it. But the goal before half-time was a massive swing for the game, wasn't it? If we just had got to half-time, it might never have panned out the way it did.
It's momentum, and goals change games, and all that carry on, it goes with it. I just have seen this comment here from Iggerman trying to. I kind of got the impression, I don't know what you thought watching the telly, but he seemed to just run with the ball or try to run it at cul-de-sacs, just wanted to do far too much.
Aye. We've got a few players that are like that, Gary. I thought Czerny was outstanding in the first half. He can win a game on his own sometimes, but we've got a few players that want to hold on to the ball too long. Diamandi can do it as well. And who else? Czerny as well. He can sometimes hold on to the ball too long when the pass is the better option. But hopefully the management team will get around them, and we'll start to see improvements with that over the next few games, because that's something that the coaches should be telling them. There's times to play, and then there's times when to pass it and keep it, and little moves here and there. I think there is too many players in the team that want to hold on to the ball and are making bad decisions, but the management team can get around them. I'm sure McCann and Ferguson will get that ironed out for the next few games.
I'm going to step with you then, Ricky, just talk about Czerny. You know, I've heard a few things. It maybe wasn't his best game, but when I look back in the game, every single thing we done was round about him potentially being dangerous.
He was electric in the first half, but just that break, just that tiny, just get like his shots was always. He could some of his runs were brilliant, but he just couldn't get a shot away off early enough. And then the one that was a clear cut. It was actually the first time Yefte's created a chance this season. I think he actually played it back to him, and he scuffed it with his right foot. He tried to take it first time, and it was all over the place. But I actually thought, I mean, you've got to give the guy credit. I mean, he couldn't even run. Like we moan about these players not giving their all, and they get in their sports car, we slag them. But come on, guys, come on! At the end, when we won the penalty shootout, the guy could not even run to the fans. He had absolute zero energy in him. If you watch,
who are you saying? You said Clement.
Czerny, sorry, Czerny. Aye,
if you watch, I don't know if you've seen the telly. There's about 75 minutes. I can't remember, but he's actually saying, "Don't give me the ball."
Yeah, he's total. He was total done. He was cramped up. Danilo smashed the dugout with his fist. That'll be him out for a few months now with a broken wrist. That was so. These players gave us, even if it went out, guys, we went through. The players gave their absolute all last night, and you cannot say anything about the effort that the players give. It was absolutely fine. Even there's a great piece on Rangers TV. If you go and see it inside Ibrox, and it shows you the atmosphere inside the dressing room. Jose Mourinho at the end of the game just goes strolling into the Rangers dressing room like he owns Ibrox. What a man. Just to say goodbye to Barry Ferguson before he gets on the bus. But you get to see all the celebrations at the end with the noise and everything. And the players are absolutely... They didn't even really celebrate when they went back to the dressing room, because they were all absolutely knackered. There was no music. They were just like, get us home. We'll get to bed, get to sleep, and I'm sure yous were the same. You two were at the game. I spoke to you already, Gary. You said you didn't get home until stupid o'clock. Kerr the same. So it was worth it. But it was a great effort from everyone last night.
Yeah. So I'm going to Scott. The second goal, I was just picking up for a wee minute to talk. So the ball comes down, Jeffrey for slides, and for some reason it goes in between his legs. I think I don't really know what it does, but and the guy runs away, cuts it back. I think Balogun's probably come out slightly quicker to him, and then the ball goes through Tav's legs. But I think the main, I'd suggest probably Jeffrey's a bigger issue there in terms of if you slide for a ball, you've got to win it. And I don't know, overall, week after week, Ricky does give him a bit of pelters on this, but he was pretty poor again last night. One, he doesn't seem to have the confidence to go forward now, other than and cut across the park, but also defensively, he's been found out quite frequently.
Defensively, Gary's never been good, but he was okay to start the season. I think it must be on his mind. He can't defend. But going forward, he does cut inside. I don't know if that's instructions to cut inside or if he just doesn't fancy going round the side and hitting the touchline. I don't know what the problem is, but I think he's rested. Listen, he's played a lot of games. Probably played more games than he imagined he would. To be honest with you, he's still a young guy, and I know we're always very quick to criticise him and Agaman and others, and they're still young players and they've got a lot of first team experience, especially in another league. And when they're playing well, we put them up here and we say they're worth 27 million and stuff like that. And then when they're playing well, it's like they're shite, get them off the park. You have to kind of come in the middle of it, and he probably needs rested and put Ridvan out there for a couple of games just to give him time away and get his fitness back. And listen, the goal where he commits himself, as soon as he slides and the guy goes by him, he's committed himself. There's nothing he can do. You're told as a player to stay on your feet as long as you can. He doesn't. He commits himself, and it wasn't a great finish, but he had it into towards goal. And I think Tav and Butland getting each other's way. To be honest with you, Tav tries to clear it and he doesn't. And Butland thinks he's clearing that, and it goes through Tav's legs, no Butland's legs, and it's a goal. But these things happen. We have to clear it for the start. We can't wait till it's into the box. And the same with the first goal, but one centre half should have been closer to the boy who scored. But they both backed off and left Tavis trying to come inside, and he didn't go on the header because it was over him. So every goal we can pick out points where you should do better, but let's say the first goal we give him credit for scoring it. The second one was just bad defending. But if Jesse stays on his feet, it might be different, but he doesn't, you end up conceding. But we could have collapsed then. We could have collapsed. Was it 2-0 down? See, that's it, 2-0. I thought when they get a second goal, I thought they'd get a high for that and start to hitting us more, but they never.
Was there no phenomenal block at the end of the game? I can't remember. Was it something?
But I thought after their second goal, we were more composed. Yeah, the tackle at the end, but it was a great tackle, wasn't it, a penalty? I thought we were more composed after they scored the second one in neighbour. I thought I expected more from them, because I said to the boy next to me, they're going to come at us again, we're going to bend our seas, but we weren't until near the end of the match. But we had a few chances in between. So I don't know why, because if that was Rangers in that position, we scored a second, I'd be like, right, go for it, you've hit them. And know what I mean, go and get a third one, but they never.
Aye. So, as you said, I think, and JD kind of talked about it, so I'll come to you, JD, with that last 10 minutes. We do probably kind of settle back into a game, we regroup, and even at the extra time, I know there was obviously there was that tap block that I remember, there's maybe another one in the second to that, and then extra time, but most of the time they didn't really do an awful lot. Balogun probably at that point looked quite knackered, if I'm being honest, but still staying on the park. But extra time, it was probably eachy-peachy, but both teams looked done.
Aye, I thought that it's certainly the second half extra time at the game just petered out, didn't it? Was there one? I think they had a chance. Oh no, it was Tav's tackle. That was an extra time, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was right before.
No, it was 93rd minute. 93rd minute is tackle. 93rd minute.
Aye, so it petered out a wee bit. See, to be fair, I think I was too busy winding up Ricky in the group chat to remember extra time, to be fair. So it petered out. We were hoping for penalties, weren't we? I don't really think there was much of a either here or there for both teams in the extra time.
Aye, and then Ricky, this is where the Jose's main penalty gripe comes. I think is a tackle from Raskin, maybe about 118 minutes. That's the one that he got booked for. Was there anything in that? Was it literally?
It's one. I didn't think there were penalties. I don't think you could. But with these refs, you never know, especially with VAR. Like you see some of the decisions this far, it seems to be getting worse instead of better. But for me personally, I think Jose knows he's going to get it in the neck, because it's a bad result for him and for Fenerbahce to go out to Rangers in Turkey. When you look at, they'll be looking at budgets and where they see us on the food chain and stuff like that. So for me, he was just like, you know what he's like. He's justifying the defeat to the Turkish press, trying to say, oh, we should have had penalties, we should have done this, we should have done that. But they'll still be sticking the boot into him. That'll get him ready to come to Rangers in the summer as the exclusive that Kerr broke earlier in the group chat. So Jose to Rangers in the summer, we will see. But no, it was none of them were penalties for me, mate. For me, definitely they were close, but none of them were. Not, especially the handball with Yilmaz. I mean, definitely not.
So as we come to the end of the game, penalties come. I turn to my daughter and say, we've no chance here. Do you know, Butland doesn't save penalties, and they've got Tadic, Dzeko, Fred, whoever it is, raving them off. You know, you're thinking these guys are composed on it all, seen it all, and we've got Butland who dives out the way of them normally. And up steps Tadic first.
Yes. Great save.
Al McGregor's 3 weeks of coaching and already saving penalties like great save.
I just can't imagine McGregor being a goalie coach. Cannot imagine it.
He was loving it. He was loving it at the end, man. He was happy he came back at the right time. He was absolutely loving. McGregor's unreal, man. What a character. He was loving it on the pitch at the end. So was Billy Dodds singing away to Penny Arcade. But no, brilliant from Butland in the shootout, and brilliant from the fans, man. Give the fans the fans absolutely tore the roof off at Ibrox. if the atmosphere had been so during the match, when it came to penalties, wow, the players, that you could hear the noise every time one of them was stepping up. It was so loud, and it was fantastic and it's mad because I watched back 3 Rangers penalty shootouts, and every time the player has missed, we've been singing Derry's Walls full tilt. When Rogic missed, Pochettino, PSG, it was the same song the fans were singing, all the same song. I watched that today. So brilliant from the fans, and brilliant from Butland, and brilliant from McGregor, teaching them how to save penalties. So excellent.
It's funny, I don't know if you heard it the telly. So see the first one, Tadic goes up, probably the atmosphere wasn't great at that one, if I remember rightly, because there was still a bit of nervousness, but as soon as he saved that one, the place just ramped up totally. And then JD Tav comes up.
As a captain should.
Aye, a lot of pressure, but you especially when your keeper saved that one. So if you miss that, that's you really wrecked it. But cracking penalty, drilled it low actually for a change. Normally kind of whips it, drilled it low in the corner. And I suppose I'm just going to pick up on him just briefly, just because in the press conference after it, Ferguson made a big play about him being a captain, how he looked him in the eye and thought he's definitely my captain. And it was asked the question, I suppose, he gets a lot of abuse. And he stepped up, took the big balls, as they say, for these things, took that penalty kick. And even at Scotland, I've seen this all during that penalty shoot. He's over at the crowd, riling them up, which some you don't normally see Tav doing. No, during the game, he was running with players. Just your comments on that, thoughts on that.
I didn't, honestly, and I'm a bit pessimistic with this. See, once Tadic missed, I had a feeling we were going to win it. Stephen Tav stepped up, I had no doubt he was going to score. I just had a sense. I don't know, the Thursday nights, we've had some great nights at Ibrox. Tav's experienced all that. Can I way back to your Braga game? Can I even go further back? He's experienced a lot of decent nights. I said he comes alive in these games. We know that. I'm not saying he's a marauding right back who scores 20 goals a season anymore, but I must admit, and I've slaughtered him. He's played all right in the last few games, I must admit. I think most of the team have played generally okay since Ferguson's come in, but I was happy with Tav. He was never going to miss. And I think we drilled the first couple of our penalties straight down the middle, didn't we? That did make me a wee bit nervous, but we scored them, so...
Yeah.
Aye.
So Scott, we'll come at you then. So we then... Who scores? They scores. Jekyll scores, which you'd expect to score. Czerny crawls his way up there, one leg, drilled it down the middle. Was it? I mean, it was just obviously stayed on for that particular reason. But then you've got the next one is Fred. Fred, what a save that was for Butland.
Yeah, he got a big hand to it, didn't he? Got a strong hand to it. I mean, that could easily went in, but he got a strong hand to it and he put it past the post of it out back for the goal. Listen, it was a really good save because that was a decent penalty with Fred. It wasn't like Hadji's penalty. It was a lot of pace in it. It was a decent penalty, it was a decent save. And listen, we've all been doubtful of Jack Butland because he had made errors in the past and we've all thought, oh my God, and he's not saved many penalties to be fair to him, but he stood up. And at the end of the day, see penalty shootouts, goalkeepers are probably the only ones out of that having to get to lose because you don't expect players to miss, you expect players to score, but that was 2 good saves he made because even the one down the middle, we put 2 down the middle and the goalkeeper never got to him, but Jack left his legs high. So he did, whereas our goal, he's going low and fair play to him. But I have to say, the Tavernier penalty is probably the one you wanted to score because it's the first one. But last night, I've sat here and gave Tav a lot of stick in the last couple of seasons. But I thought last night he was really good. I thought for the start to finish, he tried to coach the team through it. You see him talk to folk, you see him try to push up the park. I thought he was really, really good last night, Tavernier. And I don't usually give him a lot of credit, but I thought last night, for being in the back three to go back to full back, I thought he played really, really well.
And it was like the team, as you say, JD's got that experience. So I think that Hadji's miss. Actually, I was talking through the order of penalties. Hadji misses it. I mean, if the keeper dives the other way, it's a good penalty. If he dives that way, it's a bad penalty. And it's one of these things sometimes, unless you're the guy that takes the 4th, 5th penalty for Fenerbahce, Ricky, who for some reason decides to blaze it, but 15 feet over the bar.
I cannot believe in the group chat just before we came on the podcast that Yilmaz was going to be taking our 5th penalty, man. I think we should...
that was a joke.
Come on, guys! If he was, they should kick us out the tournament if that was the case, because that is incredible. If we were putting he looked. I was wondering why he looked so nervous. Though it's totally weird. He looked like someone was away to steal his house and his family and his kids or something. Man, he was the most nervous guy in the whole stadium. So maybe if Yilmaz was taking that fifth penalty, then oh my God, guys, I want to know. I need to know now. But no. It was an amazing moment. I mean, the Ibrox was at his wildest, and the guy just looked like, what the hell is this, man? The guy was inside a washing machine when he was taken up to put the ball on the spot. And Jesus, Rogic and him had a competition to see who could kick the ball the highest. I don't know if he managed to get it right out of the stand, but it was a bad
the boy
penalty.
was stepping up. He looked nervous.
He looked absolutely shitting himself, man.
He was terrified.
It was terrified. The stadium was singing, and the noise, and the boos, and the scarves, and I was actually thinking to myself, how the hell can you take a penalty in that, man? So we got lucky with winning the toss with in front of the Copeland. It worked out excellent for us, and we deserved it, guys. For me, every time Rangers have an amazing result away from home in Europe, we always downplay it and they were pish. Fenerbahce are pish. They are a good team, mate. That result in Turkey is one of our best results in recent memory away from home. Easily up there with Dortmund. An unbelievable result. So we deserve to go through over the two legs. And that was a reward. We got a reward last night. We should have won the cup final, I thought. We didn't get the reward there. So we're all nervous going into the penalty shootout, thinking we didn't have a chance, but we managed to get it over the line. So well done to the players. They showed a lot of bottle, a lot of character, and we deserve to be in the last 8 against Balboa. It'll be an equally difficult match. It'll be a hard match as well, but great for the club. Great to get it over the line, and the fans deserved it. Great celebration at the end as well. And I'll let them off going around the pitch. They deserved to go around the pitch last night. So. No saying anything about that.
So Scott, I'll come at you, but I just talking about the fans then. So for that 15 minutes after it, when we're both there, and obviously you've got Penny Arcade, and I'm feeling it, and all that stuff. You know, it was reminiscent of 2022 for that wee spell. The first time it's probably been like that for a couple of years.
Yeah, it was, Gareth. I thought last night. I mean, I've obviously been at a Queen's Park game and Motherwell game, it's one game, and the fans do get nervous. I mean, you go behind you start making groans and moans, and you get maybe the players back, the managers back. But I thought last night, even at 2-0 down, nobody turned on the players, nobody turned on the management, and we're still getting behind the players because we still thought there's a chance here. Do you know that way? And there was, but as it turned out, we won in penalties. But sometimes no turning the players because the players might expect it now because it's happened a few times. I thought that helped them, to be honest with you. And I thought when we went 2-0 down, I thought that atmosphere get better. I don't know about you, but I thought the singing started more. The Union Bears were always going, listen, they go all the time anyway. But I thought the Broomloan last night was quite energetic. I mean, I don't know about you, but I never sat down the full match, and the boys next to me were constantly singing. But European games are different faces for league games because some people don't purchase the tickets. But I thought last night's atmosphere was really good, considering we were 2-0 behind. I thought everybody was still involved in the game. We're still singing the team on and still hopeful for something to happen. I think you've seen that because I thought, like I said, I watched it, but I didn't think we were that bad in the extra time. You could see the legs were going, we looked tired, but so did they. And if somebody got a goal then, the other team only going to come back because both teams were shattered by that point. But we still kept going, and Cherney could have come off, but he never gave him a bit of credit there. Probably not playing Sunday right enough, but gave him a bit of credit there. First out, he obviously knew he was taking a penalty, and no Barry Ferguson to say like the players decide. So sometimes that's the best way, because if you pick 5 before the match, you don't know what happens throughout the match, or they get subbed or whatever. But some players are say, I play shite, by the way, I don't like a penalty, I'm not confident at all. So you get to the guys who are most confident at putting the ball in the net, and sometimes that's the best way to do it. And if I know Ricky was slagging Midvan there, or mentioned Midvan, but if he was 5th to go, fair play to him, he stood up. Always prefer the players that say, right, I'll go. Even if they miss, I'll go. At least they're willing to give it a shot, whereas other guys are hiding behind somebody or hiding behind ball boys and stuff. No, I don't want to do that. That's why I end up a pizza out there. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, it's one of these things, Gary. Penalties are a lottery. Like I say, the goalkeepers have the ones that don't get criticised, and if the goalkeeper saves a couple like Jack done last night, we get through. Listen, we've been the end up by penalty shootouts, but last night we were an end of a good one.
Yeah. Maybe Jack was on the 5th.
Maybe.
Who do you think? Who do you think it would have been then? Actually, reality.
I think that picture where Ridvan's actually like that, shitting himself and everybody's celebrating, he maybe was hitting the 5th.
I know.
Don't think so. I think after missing against Celtic.
Exactly. He can't even. He can't kick the ball 12 yards for God's sake, man. The guy can't kick the ball.
You're looking for your Besharami was brought to be a number 10. You're looking for a number 10 to be going like, give me the ball. I'm a penalty taker. But I wasn't going to be a penalty taker because I thought again. There was a couple of wee moments I thought, I was like, was that Besharami that done that? But it was. But again, for me, when he came on, we were saying I would take him back half, but he did do a couple of decent little things. His movement was actually quite good as well, but I don't know. I don't know who would hit the 5th one. Probably Jack Button. The way he dispatched it in the cup final, why would they not just then walk up and take one?
I'd have said Agaman or Bayram. It had to be one of the two. Your number 9 and number 10 arguably was it would be 2. Should have been, but who knows? So we're off to Bilbao next for the first time twice this season. We're at home first, away second. JD, do you think that's better or worse?
I think it. I'm honestly, I think it's worse, but just proving that we're better away from home. So maybe it isn't. So, but I still always prefer to be home in the second leg. Always prefer to be home in the second leg because look at last night. But I think this could be a step too far. I think it's a step too far. I think this. I know we were mentioning Betis and they're not a bit different. I think this Bilbao team are a good side. They've got a couple of world-class players in their team. Because it's such a tough run, this competition. We've not had anything. We've had the toughest run, the hardest group fixtures. Then we get Fenerbahce. Then we've got fucking Bilbao. Then, I'm not even going to start. It's Leon or Man United.
Was it Leon or Man United if you get through?
Like Leon have already gave us an absolute pasting. Like that was probably one of the best teams I've seen at Ibrox for a good few years, that Leon side this season. But listen, we're in it. Let's go for it. We're in it. There's nothing else you can say about it, but we just keep our best. But maybe that will be the quarterfinals is brilliant. No, we can't argue with that, but I've not even. I can't afford to go anywhere else this year. So maybe that's the back of my head saying, no, I'm not going anywhere else.
I think that's it. You know, there are 4 of the quarterfinalists are the teams we played against ourselves, Leon, Man U, Spurs. Is that right? So 4 out there. That's 36 teams that started it. It kind of tells you its own story there. I don't know if you want to pick up JD and any other players that we've missed out on that you thought were particularly deserve a mention.
No, not really. I will say Egerman's came on and just we said a minute ago he's trying too hard, and I said it a couple of months ago. Like Egerman was an absolute gem because a lot of young players nowadays are overcoached and they're robotic. He's no got that, but I'm going to go back on it a wee bit now. That see if we get a really top class coach to come in and work with this boy for a year, it could make a massive difference because we all know he's got every attribute. He's got it all, but I think he just needs fine-tuned and built up a wee bit. That every time you get the ball, man, you don't need to bring it, turn it, try and not make somebody run down to a corridor. Just, I think a good wee bit of coaching in that 6 months or whatever, he could go where we want him to go, rather than it being right, a quick bring him in, move him on for 10 million, let's go. I think he could be worth more than that if he stays for another season and we bring the right man in.
So moving on to what's happened today. So Raskin, Scott, was called up to the Belgium squad. Obviously, given that he's one of your favourite players, I'm going to ask you your thoughts. And that was quite a surprise. There's been no real chit-chat about it. It seemed to come from nowhere. And what is a pretty strong team. It's a hell of an achievement at this stage of his career.
It is. Listen, I think nothing more. No, Nico's not a finished article by any means. He's got his faults. He plays poor in games, but he doesn't hide for me. He sticks in. I thought last night he started quite poorly, but I thought he came into the game more and more, and I thought going extra time he was winning stuff, he was challenging for stuff, and he keeps going. That's what he does. He keeps going. He's got an injury in him, and that's what I like about him. Listen, if a bid comes in for any players at Ibrox can take it, you have to look at it and you think, well, you need to take that because you might not get that again. But I think like him, Man, I think there's more to come, Gary, for they two. Listen, like I said earlier, if a bid comes in that we can't turn down for any of the two of them, you have to look at it seriously and take it. You don't want to go away for free like we've done with previous players. But I think there's...
How much, Scott, so if Raskin becomes a Belgian international, fully fledged Belgian international, how much do you think he's worth? Because nobody really talks about Raskin, particularly in the player trading.
I think that just depends who's coming from, Gary. I think that depends what league he's going to as well. And I think that depends on... I'm not passing the buck here, but that depends on the sporting director and the new manager we come in. They might say he's worth 50, might say he's worth 10, they might say he's worth 5. But I think when you look at some of the players who've left Scotland or something like... To me, Lennon Miller's not worth 8 million. But Motherwell are asking for that. That's their prerogative. And if they get it, good on them. So if he's worth 8 million, they must say Raskin's a better player than Lennon Miller. He's more experienced. He's physicality a lot better. Lennon Miller might be a bit more easy on the eye at times, but I think Raskin's still a better player. So I think you'd be asking for that and upwards. But it depends who comes for him, who looks for him, who wants that type of player. Like I say, I think another season or two, in the season and a half, I think he may improve, but it just depends on the sporting director when they come down the manager. Listen, they might want to keep some of these players, they might want to move some of them on. I'm not going to move them all on because we have to keep them on the side. I know Nicholas doesn't like Raskin's a bit like you, Gary, but I think he does a lot of things, Raskin, that goes unnoticed. I think he keeps working. I think he wins the ball back, lays it off. He does things that other players don't want to do, like Diamandi doesn't want to do it. Barron at times doesn't want to do it. I think Raskin does things. He's always talking. He's always moving. He doesn't get, even if he loses the ball, he tries to win it back. Yeah, we know his passing could improve. We know other things in his game could improve. But he never hides. And to me, that's a big attribute, no hiding. Sometimes the game's not going well for you. Players do hide or players don't want to get involved. He doesn't. And if you take too long for Raskin, then...
Oh, geez, peace, man. That's a joke. It's a joke.
You get 2 million for us three, me, you and Ricky.
What? 2 million? Gary. He's just replaced Engels in the Belgium squad who went to Celtic for 11 million. If you're selling Raskin, you're not selling him for any less than 10 million. And this is
I think Raskin's performances in Europe.
Exactly. In Europe and
other teams. If somebody comes in with a decent offer, the club will consider it. But I don't know what they're looking for. Everybody's got a price on their head. 10 million, 5 million, 50 million. It just depends what the club are looking for. Yeah. But we can't sell everybody. And I know everybody looks at a player trading model, and that's fine. But sometimes, like I say, it depends who comes in. You have to maybe keep some. I would keep Igaman. I wouldn't sell Igaman. I know a lot of people would. I think there's more to offer. I think there's so much potential in Igaman. But I agree with JD. I think we have to nurture it. And I know people have said, well, he's 21, 22. But so were other players that started playing football through other players in the leagues. So I think, and Raskin's the same. I think they've not had a lot of consistent football. But I think like Hammond, Igaman and Diamandi, I really like, but he frustrates me. I think he's very, very weak. I think physicality lets him down. And he has got that turn in his shoulder, he has got that thing, and he looks good. But I think sometimes he lets himself down, he gets involved in too much. He gives the ball away at times in bad areas, and he doesn't make an attempt to get it back, or he does, and his physicality lets him down.
Yeah, Dio's one that will go to probably a better league than Scotland and probably flourish.
Because he's got that ability. I agree with you. I think some people like Spain or Italy, I think Diamandi would be absolutely tremendous. See, when I watch a lot of Italian football, and he would be tremendous here because you get time in the ball, you get
pirouette away to his heart's content.
I think it'd be tremendous here. Like McTominay's went there, Lewis Ferguson's went there, and I know they've done really well, but I think it's a slower league at times. You can work your way up to the halfway line before you start getting booted about, and I think Dio will be really good there because he has got that ability. In Scotland, he can pirouette, he can do stuff, then he gets hit, and you think, get back up, and he loses the ball, and I like him as well, but I think maybe somebody else in there. That's I've always said to you, I prefer a 3 in the middle, but because we want to play a 10 at times, it puts a lot of onus on they two because one has to sit and one has to get it forward, and if teams work that out very quickly, it can be ineffective because we get picked off, especially with just straight long balls.
Nicholas is saying about if you never get 10 million for Raskin, right, and our midfield gets overrun by Motherwell. See, the thing is, right, see clubs in top leagues, they're not going to come and look at Raskin's performance against Motherwell and St Mirren, right? Because they don't play against teams like Motherwell and St Mirren who come and play football like that. Teams that are going to look at these players are going to be watching all these Europa League games, playing against big teams, and the way these other teams attack, the way the Scottish game run, and that's just a matter of fact. Like, Raskin will go, and he'll go for decent money.
JD, Birmingham City paid nearly 50 million for Jay Stansfield. He was to play in League One football. There's no financial fair play there, so they can spend money willy-nilly. You don't get looked at. It's only coming to the Championship. So you think they're not going to get something like that for Raskin? The only thing that lets our players down is the Scottish League. But Celtic get money for their players. Mikey Johnson, I think he went for about 4 or 5 or something. Mikey Johnson. So if he's gone for that, why should your players not go for that and more? There's no any difference. They're playing against oppositions, but they're proving themselves in Europe.
Let's move on, Scott. Right, so I don't want players to go. Nobody wants players. We're talking about winning. We've talked about real firm games, so we'll pick up that another week probably. I think from all of us, congratulations to Nico for being in the Belgium squad. That's a great achievement. That was a point of question 5 minutes ago.
Jesus, about 2 hours ago. The game's over. The double header's over, for God's sake, man. He never got any minutes. He didn't get on. He's worth 1.5 million.
That classic in here. I
told you.
Right, Ricky, but I suppose one of the things it does point out, whether it be Dio, Raskin, Igaman, we've got good players, right? And as we head to the game on Sunday against Celtic, we've got 2,500 fans here to watch those good players.
Yes.
I suppose the big challenge is, one, we've not won at Parkhead in a number of years, and secondly, we've just played 120 minutes, and it's not even the physical training, the emotional training of a game like that as much else, and how it's actually going to take shape going into Sunday. So you're no better than most of us. You're better at this sort of thing than us. What do you foresee happening and coming, and where's it going to go?
I think you've got me confused with someone else. But anyway, listen, I mean, the players were at Ibrox bouncing about the stadium until midnight last night, for God's sake, man. So we're expecting miracles on Sunday. I think most of us, if you offered us a point right now, would snap your hand off. It's going to be really, really difficult on Sunday, mate. We've just played a massive game on Thursday. They've had a week off. They're at full strength again. Rodgers I hate that, honestly. I saw clips of him the day on X condescending about Rangers and Barry Ferguson. The way he speaks about Rangers, if any manager's going to shut him up, it's going to be Barry Ferguson. But it's going to be really difficult. We need to make changes to the team on Sunday. So I can actually see him sticking to the 5 at the back. I can see him sticking it because it actually works really well with Tavernier, with Suter and Balogun, but he might bring Proper in if Balogun's done. I don't know if Balogun will be able to play on Sunday. It might be a step too far for him. Czerny has to play because Czerny's our best player, so we'll have to get him. They'll be working miracles on him to get him fit for Sunday. He's got to play. So I think he might actually try and play something a little bit similar to what we did in Turkey, but just a few tweaks here and there. Maybe he will start Igaman and bring Dessers off the bench, and maybe if we're still in the match, I can see him doing something like that because he probably knows he needs to bring in. I would definitely take Yefte. Honestly, Yefte defends like a striker and he crosses the ball like he's got a pitching wedge instead of a football boots on, and his feet are ridiculous. So take him out of the team. He's a young guy. I'm not writing him off. He needs a lot.
What's he bad at? Ricky, tell us what he's bad at.
Everything, mate. Everything. Well, he's a left back. He's a left back that defends like a striker. He crosses the ball like I've never seen it. He gets in amazing positions. He's brilliant at the middle part. He's unbelievable at carrying the ball, but then he gets into a position and never kicks it out the park, or like Gary says, comes inside and gives it away. You're so frustrated with the guy. So I would take him out the team. The problem we've still got with these guys is it's hard enough getting them to play one match and then that's them all injured again. Sterling's probably, like you said, is carrying a knock. Suter's probably struggling from it. So you don't know who's going to... We'll have to see who's fit before we can sort of see what team he's going to put on the park on Sunday, Gary. But if we come out there with a draw, I'll be happy. I'm not expecting much from the match, and that's not being pessimistic, or it's just reality. It's so tough. That game at Ibrox, I'm actually glad we've got a big break until we play the Spaniards We play them on April the 10th, and I'm glad that we can let everything breathe and just put a cork in Europe for a few weeks and just concentrate on the league, get Ferguson a few weeks with the players on the grass, and then massive build up to that game again, because I think it's going to do the players a big favour. If we were playing next week in that tie, I agree with JD. I think it's going to be very difficult anyway, but we're not expecting much. But have a little bit of a break, I think, is really going to help us in Europe. So we'll see what happens on Sunday, mate. So, but I'll go for 1-1.
Yeah. So, JD, I suppose the big question that people are going to talk about is we played 5-3-2 a couple of times, so we're going to do that again. Do you think that's likely? I suppose in my head, I kind of think that's too predictable to do the same thing again.
Did Ferguson not come out today or yesterday or last night and said it'll be different formations for different teams, different formations for different games? The players are going to need to get used to change. So hopefully he's got something up his sleeve. I wouldn't be against just doing what we've done against Fenerbahce, to be fair. But it's going to be a 5 at the back, innit? It's not going to be a 3-5-2 or a 3-5-1-1. It's going to be a 5-3-2, innit? So we're never going to go 4-4-2 against Celtic away from him. Let's be honest about that. It's never going to happen a million years, man. So I would probably just listen. I just don't think we're going to get much for the game. It's a massive ask. It's almost like the semi-final. Do we come back for
Seville? Arfield and Fashion Sakala's kind of.
Aye. When Bassey
I'll say it's offside, wasn't it? Because Bassey, the VAR was there.
You're asking for that type of performance on Sunday here. But away from home makes it very, very tough. But listen, as Rangers fans, like we've not had it well there recently, but I don't know if we'll win, but I still expect us to win.
So, and what will that be then? What will that be?
We'll win one each. No, I'm looking. No, I don't. Honestly, don't ask me. I don't know. If we get a draw, it'd be an unbelievable result. But again, like I'd go back and say, like, I just expect us to still win. I want us to win. I want us to shut Rodgers up. I would love nothing more. Listen to Clyde Wan earlier, like this old boy came on. He was talking about how we'll absolutely hammer them. They're terrible. And then the boy said to him, "But did you not say that at New Year?" But so that's the thing. They think it's a foregone conclusion. Now it very may well be, and the 120 minutes and pens and the atmosphere and the emotion drains you. So it could be a foregone conclusion, but I can't give you a score. Please don't ask me.
So Scott, coming to you then, do you know? I mean, I think people do forget that we did beat them 3-0 and they beat us convincingly. Our issue hasn't been against Celtic this season. It's been the other games repeatedly that's caused our problems. And as we say, we've got about quality in the team. But we've also got a strong bench. You know, when you look at Balogun, played 120 minutes. Czerny looked like he barely walk. Tav's 33, coming on for 34. Sterling's just back for injury. Barnes just back for injury. You've got guys like Hadji, Daniil, Bayrami, Proper, etc., etc. Do you think he maybe just goes and with the strongest team again, or wheel them a bit back out, or just make wholesale changes?
I think it depends who's fit, Gary. After last night, I think it depends. I think if guys only 75% fit, but you trust them, we'll go with them. I do, because the league, he knows the league's going right. We're going to finish second no matter what, but you don't want to go there and get humped. But do you want me to tell you the truth with my heart, or tell me the truth with my head? Because it's totally two different answers. I have to say, I'm fearing for Sunday. I think we will get well beaten, and it's just because of what we've been through. I think we have to put all our eggs into Europa League basket. I think I wouldn't risk guys, because I don't want guys injured for the next European game, to be honest with you. But I think Celtic know that. I think that's why Rodgers has mentioned the last game at Ibrox. We didn't let the Rangers didn't let them play the Celtic way. Fucking nonsense. I also think they've let away fans in because the league's finished. See if I was a head-to-head league, we were still like maybe a point or 2 points. We're not away fans there. But they want to celebrate on Sunday. They want to say we're the big I-ams. And listen, their Champions League one was decent, right? It was decent. It was no more, but they're getting plaudits for that. But if you look at the last 5 years, who's got more coefficient points? It's Rangers. I think they're sitting, was it 5th or something in that table? All the 18s or something like that. And 8th over the last 5 years. That's some achievement, but we don't get plaudits for that. But they get plaudits for beating fucking bummers in the Champions League who didn't win points. Then getting a draw against Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean? It's like they get a 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich. I remember Rafe Rovers going there and leading against Bayern Munich all the years ago. I mean, I think they still talk about it in Kirkcaldy right enough. But listen, I don't really... Sunday, I want to go and beat them. Honestly, I want to go and beat them. But personally, I don't think it'll happen. But I'm hoping that happens. But I would rather talk about Europa League because I know the league's gone. There's no point getting players injured or whatever just because it's let them get their plaudits, because at the end of the day, we know what's going to happen. I'll concentrate in Europa League next season. We put in a challenge, but I want to go there on Sunday and do something, but I'm just fearful it's going to go against it. Just with what's happened in the Europe and stuff like that. But hopefully, I was there the last time we beat them. So I'm not there on Sunday enough. I didn't get a ticket, so I'm hoping it happens again. But we know the last time we beat them there, what happened after that. But listen, Celtic believe in their own hype. They do. I mean, they went for Coombe being the best player in the world to Engels, now it's Maeda. They believe their own hype. They think they're better than what they are. Listen, they're better than us in the league. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. But also they believe they're the best. They believe there's nobody can touch them. Rodgers believes it. The players believe it. And the fans are more delusional than anybody I've never met. They believe they're up here. They think they're better than anybody, but they're not. They're a decent side in Scotland. But that's it. In Europe, it might be Champions League, and that's fair enough. But us in the Champions League, them in the Champions League, we're cannon fodder to most teams. The league is at our level is Europa League. That's how we do so well. Listen, I would rather be in the Champions League, but we're not winning the league, so we can't get in it. But they ain't going in the Champions League and they get a couple of draws, a couple of wins, and they think it's great. But they're out. We're still in it. And that's the price we've got to pay. So, name me a rant, I'm off.
Fucking hell, man! Brilliant, man. You've been on my rocket fuel.
I've never seen these rants from.
Brilliant, man.
Ricky, see that drink you drink is great.
It's good, mate. I'll send you some more. Souvenir.
So, but as you say, we focus the pod tonight on Europe and the things that actually matter at the moment. The league is gone. You know, it's no nice to say.
It's good to have a B team game on Sunday just to keep the players warm for the big games that are coming up. You know.
Listen,
So
honestly,
it's a nice-
I get what Kerr was saying the other day, but nothing compares. Sundays for me. I know. I think he will change it, by the way. And I don't think he's going to change it out of like necessity. Like, I think he'll change it to maybe not rest people who are saying I'm 100% fit and I'm ready to play. MD's 100% fit and ready to play in our first 11. Say last night, that team, they'll play. But if there's ones that are maybe 70, 80% who would maybe get you through 60, 70 minutes, I don't think he'll risk it. And I think you might see a Bajrami starting, you might see him switching it around a wee bit. But for me, I'd still, I'm not giving them anything. We need to go and try and win that game.
Ferguson's going to want to get, like, Ferguson will not be taking all that shite that Rodgers was speaking today. He'll be pinning all that up and he'll be letting the players know, look, they're laughing at us and laughing at you, so you better go out in that park and do it for me. The players are talking a good game since Ferguson's came in, that he's given them this new mentality and all that. So Sunday's a great chance. And Ferguson thinks this is an addition that he wants to be in the mix to get the job. I have no doubt whatsoever that he in his head thinks that he has a chance. And the only way he is going to be able to do that is by getting huge victories. So if he gets a victory over Celtic, he's already got 2 massive wins over Fenerbahce to take us through. And if he can get a victory on Sunday, then that's absolutely huge for his CV and huge for his... I don't think he's going to get the job. That's not what I'm saying. But he wants to be in the mix and he wants this coaching team to stay part of Rangers. And if that's going to happen, he needs this massive victory on Sunday. He needs to win at least one of the Old Firm games for me.
So we're coming to the end of the pod, and I don't think he's got another chance to talk for 20 minutes. So JD, I'll come to you. So Ferguson's prospective new boss was there last night, a certain Mr. Kavanagh, and there was a slightly bizarre Sky Sports interview that lasted for 5 seconds, but it was a little bit bizarre.
I'm just here to support the team. Just a fan. When were you ever a fan? Kerr stole his hat, apparently. But it's happening, isn't it? Seems to be it's happening. So, let's just. I'm always wanting just to sit and just let until it happens, and then just see what that means. Now, these folk are not coming to have a jolly, and know that they're going to understand, and they've seen what that boy last night seen what the club can be like full time, right? That's what this club could be like if we are winning games and winning leagues and winning cups and trebles and doing well in Europe. They'll want that. They'll want to replicate that every day, every week. So, but they'll need to know that he needs to know they'll need to put money in. So for them to make a profit out of it, they're going to need to put money in. So it's a win-win for us. It might be a slower process than some of us are thinking. 20 million to spend in the summer, right? 7 million on Czerny, blah, blah, no. It's not going to be like that. But long term for us, I think it's going to make Rangers great again.
No. In Scotland, capita minutes. So Mr. Kavanagh was there. Do you think being at the game last night, the atmosphere, the potential, everything around about it would have excited him even more when he walking out of Ibrox?
I think they know that Gary already. I think that's why they've been in talks for so long. I think they know the potential at Rangers. I think if they would never have been interested in the first place. I think they know what we can offer. I think they know what they can get out of it. And I think, listen, it's not going to happen overnight, like JD says, but I think people have got to be frightened when it does, especially them across the road. I think, by the way, JD, I've not spoke to anybody for East End of Glasgow or any Irish media person of you about this Rangers takeover, because we could be talking nonsense here, but I think when it does happen, I think it's going to take a short time before we're back in top. It will, because I think these guys don't settle for second best, and second best in Scotland's not good enough. We know that, but I think they can see the potential of Rangers, and they can see what they can do. And Leeds United, I know they're involved in them, but when Rangers are involved, Leeds United will be second fiddle to us. And I don't care if any Leeds United fans are watching, they play in the English Championship, they play the Premiership. I've watched Leeds fans play, and they know we're a bigger club. We just play in a different country. We play in a country where football's no highly rated, but we're massive compared to them. And these people know that, Gary. That's why they're getting involved with Rangers. They see there's so much potential here. And they've probably watched the last European runs and thought, if he can just get him winning again. Because Storm mentioned about making money off us. They mentioned, listen, I'm not going to come in and spend willy-nilly and not get anything back. They're businessmen, so they're going to come in and take money back. But to get that, they have to start as winning. I think that's what they'll do. So I think the appointments are going to be very clever. And I think it will be next season will be a lot closer than this season, let's put it that way.
Yeah. And Ricky, I'm going to leave the last word to you. So you won't be on the pod on Monday night because you're travelling back to your workplace.
Yes.
And you've had very little chance to talk tonight at some points. So just anything you want to finish it off on, then Mr. Kavanagh or the certain
No, just great to see them. A great game to be at last night. I think he was at Old Trafford as well, so he saw our away support in full voice. He saw what it can be like, and then that was a good home atmosphere and the penalty shootout and the drama. And good to see Ibrox at absolutely crackling at its full capacity. So under the lights on a Thursday night. So I mean, that's not really going to affect the takeover anyway. The takeover's done. The takeover is they're just signing. They're going through the paperwork now. It'll be announced very, very soon, and it'll be in place for next season. But it was just good for these guys to see. Because you guys know better than us. I was watching it on TV last night, but there's nothing better than actually being there at the game, and you're sitting there and you're like, you don't know what to expect, and you're like, wow, what is this? I've never seen anything like this before. So for him to see that was fantastic. So it gives them good energy to put full passion into the takeover, because you don't want them to just get involved in the club and then sort of, I know the guy that's involved in Leeds is completely fallen in love with Leeds, and you want them to do the same with Rangers, which we know they will, but the faster they do it, the better. And once you get that football bug, then they can start putting more and more money in, and the 49ers will be skint soon, and all the money will be in Rangers. We'll have £100 million players soon.
I know, I was thinking that, so we take it for granted, obviously, as we are Rangers fans, and that's what we've seen all these years in the crowd. So when you see all the YouTubers on the stuff that come to England and go to the games and they talk about, this is amazing, this is unbelievable, that's probably the experience that they're getting when they're actually watching, looking around at the no surrender and all that stuff that goes on.
Nothing like it. There's nothing, you can't experience it, or you can describe it, but when you're actually sitting there and when you leave the stadium and your ears are in pain and you've lost your voice and your ears are, but obviously he never lost his voice. I don't think he knows the words to Derry's Walls yet, but he'll get there. But when you leave the stadium and your ears are buzzing and you go home and you can't speak, and the rest of you're at your work for 3 days and you can't talk properly because your voice is all raspy, man. That's what it's like to be a Rangers fan. It's great.
Yeah, and that's what it was like today. Do you know, my voice, I can hear it right now still, do you know, after all the singing last night. So we've came to the end of the pod. We will be back on Monday evening. Hopefully it's a positive result, and if we are, well, I'm assuming we have lots of viewers. If it's a negative result, we'll have all the Celtic fans on, so about lots of viewers as well.
One last thing, Gary. Just
Yes.
like you say, no matter the result on Sunday, they will always be more obsessed with us, and then us will be with them. It's always been that way, and it always will be that way.
And on that note, good night. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will be back on Monday. Safe travels, Ricky, when you're going back to work, and we will see you all soon. Good night, everybody.